Good morning. It is our pleasure to welcome you all to Unity of Vancouver, an inclusive community dedicated to learning from all of the world's wisdom traditions. We warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles. You know, a few years ago, we had an interesting guest speaker. His name was Mark Victor Hansen. And Mark Victor Hansen wrote the book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And if you're vegetarian, you can just make that vegetarian soup for the soul. Anyways, it was a book about how we can nourish ourselves daily. And it was a lovely little book that was so helpful in starting your day. Anyways, Mark at that time said, write a book. This was before he actually wrote the book. So I'm saying to all of you today, what new book are you writing in this new kind of life that we're experiencing worldwide? It's such a great opportunity to look at how you might nourish yourself even more by being totally creative. We are so excited today that we have our special guest, Martha Creek, back to nourish us and to see us in such beautiful light as she did last time. And before we get into the day, I would like to just share a quick poem, a blessing. And it's by one of my favorite Irish poets who turned the word anamcara, which is Gaelic for soul friend. And we're all soul friends here today. So just take this in as we start our day today. It's called a blessing. Like the joy of the sea coming home to shore, may the relief of laughter rinse through your soul. As the wind loves to call things to dance, may your gravity be lightened by grace. Like the dignity of moonlight restoring the earth, may your thoughts incline with reverence and respect. As water takes whatever shape it is in, so free may you be about who you become. As silence smiles on the other side of what's said, may your sense of irony bring perspective. As time remains free of all that it frames, may your mind stay clear of all its names. And may your prayer of listening deepen enough to hear in the depths the laughter of God. So, we now begin with our One Power affirmation, and it will be up on the screen for us all to hear and see. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Martha Creek is one of those extraordinary individuals. I met her about 10 years ago at a Canadian Unity conference and then saw her again a few more times at a Unity Canadian conference. She is internationally known in the Unity world, and she speaks about the practice of unity and the philosophy of this oneness in all spiritual centers and in all of life. She's fun, she's compassionate, she's heartfelt, and truly authentic. In fact, her raw truth is one of the most extraordinary qualities that you will ever find from an individual human being, Martha Creek. She is widely known as a New Thought minister and in the New Thought movement, and her trainings approach deep inner work as an adventure with a sense of curiosity and wonder. A master of the art of right questioning, she calls forth the most stubborn and self-defeating patterns that can actually create a new way of being. Ordained in religious science and divine science, and a minister of unity philosophy, Martha served as the Great Lakes Unity consultant, a member of the Unity Institute faculty, and she has attended Emerson Theological Seminary as a master's and a doctorate at that seminary. Byron Katie's School for the Work is also part of her work. And she is a healthy congregation facilitator and trainer. And so we welcome you today, Martha, as you lead us in the meditation and the beautiful message today about action, about action. Thank you.
Thank you all. So we're meditating today on purpose. So as we consider making our anthems our actions. So we pause then intentionally and purposefully to connect with the still point. The point of us that is untouched by illusion, that is untouched by notions of mistakes or sin. The point of us that belongs entirely to God. And at the center point of our being, this point of nothingness, we're awakened to, aligned with, and atoned with a point of pure truth, a point of spark, of creation. You can take a deep breath in. Be aware of the space and the invitation to join. The invitation to sit, to stop, to connect. With an inner attitude of receptivity, a heightened openness, the wisdom of flow. The capacity to gentle our relationship with mind, to gentle our hearts, and to direct our hearts and minds transformed, renewed, right here and right now. Transformation, transcendence. And the force field, the energy charged in this holy presence that is available to us, as us, through us, and for us. And aware that there's nothing subtle about this. And just as we've been taught and promised through all the sages and seers and the teachings of Jesus and other enlightened masters, that as this awakening, this quickening of our spirit sparks and arises, we discover a deeper aliveness within us that is God's aliveness, God's presence. With a renewed stamina, with grit, resilience, fortitude. Have a sense of it. Big, deep breath. And imagine the crown of your head open, receptive, aware, awake. And renewed. In the eye with which we see God is the eye with which God sees us. How would you live as this? What would you do today? What would you do differently today? Imagine. So we rededicate and redevote our life and living in and after the nature that is true and pure, a divine nature, and recommit today to practical applications of this certainty, this knowing. God is. I am. I think that way. I pray that way. I live that way. And we begin again now. We start again. And as we integrate this awareness, this atonement, this alignment, be ministered to by this beautiful music, the mastery of the music, the lyrics, the tone, the vibration, and be uplifted as Tom leads us in.
If I will let your love for me carry me beyond the shadow of a doubt, then I will let my love for you set me free. I will be free. If I can see beyond myself to a greater good that helps someone in need, then I will let my greatest good set me free. I will be free. Long is the road that I must travel. Many are the times I felt alone. Your love always finds the right direction. Your love will always lead me home. If I can thank you every day for the gift of joy that loving kindness brings, then I will give thanks every day. Set me free. I will be free. Long is the road that I must travel. Many are the times I felt alone. Your love always finds the right direction. Your love will always lead me home. If I can let your love for me carry me beyond the shadow of a doubt, then I will let my love for you set me free. I will be free. Set me free. I will be free. I will be free. I will be free.
Bravo, 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 bravo. Whoa. That concludes the service, I'd say. So, what else is there to say besides liberation is in my hands, freedom is in my hands, and if we drop the if, so instead of if I let you love me, and instead of if I follow the call, and if I follow my inner guidance, and if
I could change those lyrics to when at some point.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Amen. 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 Amen.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Tom.
Help me write a song.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. My name's Tom, by the way. I'm Tom Hansen. That's me.
Oh, thanks to Tom. Okay, folks. So, it's a call to action. As we were preparing today, and thanks to all these volunteers and these staff and these people that make this happen, and their devotion and dedication, a bow and a shout out to each and every one of you that's got such hearts for service and hearts and minds for excellence and for the care and the integral nature of what you prepare and how you serve. So to all of you, thank you, Unity of Vancouver, and for how and the ways that you serve. So moving our anthems to action. So realizations without applications are hallucinations, or insights without application is imagination. So we can have all the theory in the world and quote theory and quote founders and quote authors and without application, we're stuck exactly where we've been. So then this is it's important, vital, critical for us to do something to activate the knowing, to activate and apply the teaching, the theories, and the realizations that we have. So the mind would say, as long as I can quote it, I'm good to go. It's like, well, my life has not demonstrated this yet. My people will go around and, in New Thought, we walk around going, it's all good, it's all good. And I'm like, well, tell your face, because it has not caught up to just how good it is yet. So that's the big difference. And how are we going to be with this? So I'm doing several classes. Some of you are in the classes, and I love that. If you want in the classes, you go to marthacreek.com to find out how. And you just pop right in there as you want to. And one of the things I'm very, very, that's motivated me to even different action, and I'm a doer. If any of you know this, the personality types and Enneagram and all that, a doer, and get her done. And somebody sent me something this week. I'll quote to you in a minute if I can find it, because it sums it up. So this is not about overdoing and martyring and, driving yourself to the grave. This is about mindful doing, discerned doing. What you're going to regret on a deathbed that you didn't do. So we're going to look back and be really glad we did, or wish we had. So it's a chance to write that now, and to, even if it's just slightly, like to turn the dial up, I think, which we covered a little bit in the last time I was able here to serve with you. So 5 invitations today, and I'll put them right over there in the chat so you'll have them. They're also based on a book called The 5 Invitations. And I don't know how to pronounce the author's name. Otherwise I'd put it on here, but then it wouldn't do you any good, because I don't know how it's pronounced. So the first invitation and our call to action, to make our anthems our action, is to stop waiting, not to wait. And if any of you could confess here, we can have a little time of confession, that when the children get grown, when the house gets paid off, when I lose 50 pounds, after, as Tom's saying so beautifully, if the children ever grow up, if I lose 50 pounds, versus what can I do now to stop waiting? Stop waiting to care for people. Stop waiting to connect with people. Stop waiting to reach out to somebody today. Stop waiting to make a vacation fund if I want a vacation fund. To stop waiting to start walking in the neighborhood if that's what it is. To start stretching. To do something that's going to activate my right brain if I'm more left brain, or if I'm more right brain, that will activate the left brain, to get some balance in there and some expansion in both sides, both hemispheres of our brains. To check in with a friend, to write gratitude notes. I mean, we've been taught gratitude is causative, gratitude is creative, giving. Who will I give to today? Not if I'm going to give. Where am I going to give? What to am I going to give to? What do I want to see thrive and be around the next 1,000 years, 100 years? So then how to put my vitality, my energy, the energy of money, thought, care, gratitude into that. So sharing myself, checking in with somebody, expressing gratitude, write a love note. You know, now they're saying that the postal service, getting a letter with handwriting on it and a stamp is like the coolest thing possible. So for folks, so maybe just some of that. Who knows? If you like getting them, maybe somebody else does too. And then certainly to stop waiting about our spiritual practices, to pray, and to pray differently, more often, to pray with nuances to our prayer, to pray speaking the spoken word, to pray out loud if we pray silently, to pray silently if we don't do that, to call silent unity and pray. Like I had to reactivate this many times in my life to return to what I know that works for me, to keep me in balance and to keep me saner and more sensible and making choices that reflect that. So I call for 30 straight days as a practice, for example. Any meditations, open eye meditations, guided meditations, clearing meditations before sleep, intentional meditations to set the day. So many ways to stop waiting. Stop waiting to have a critical conversation, knowing that the silence is violence. Do you know what I mean? Where we won't speak it, but we're judging them up one side and down the other, or gossiping about them, or we got magical thinking going where they're just suddenly going to transform instead of to come from the heart space and to say, it's hard to have this conversation and your relationship means too much to me not to have it. So don't wait. So pause now and think about then, if you were brave, if you were courageous, liberated, as Tom's saying, and free today, connected, attuned, aligned, what would you not wait on anymore? One or two things. What would you stop waiting about? You know, because the one day we refer to, one day it'll be today. So don't wait. Invitation 2. Now, this is where Randy or some of y'all, if y'all can close the doors, this is where people will go running out of the Zoom room if we're not careful. Because invitation 2 is welcome everything. You may as well. Welcome everything. Push nothing away. What we resist. So the wisdom of that, what we resist persists. What we resist perpetuates. So then all that energy that we're spent resisting, pushing back, no, I won't have it. I don't want it. It shouldn't be happening. I don't need this. So all of that energy that goes into resistance is an energy leak off of our vitality, off of our creation, off of our innovation. So pain plus resistance equals suffering. So pain minus resistance or less resistance equals less suffering, then less energy drain, less lag. And no sane person is going to welcome the death of their child. No sane person is going to welcome an auto accident or a loss of their health. However, are there accidents? Do children die? Are we not quite as agile as we were in our 20s? Some of us. That the joints don't do what they do at age 20. So we don't have to love this or like this, any of it. And it's included. It's included in the expressions of the human. It's included in human learning processes. It's included in evolution, and that we are in an energy of becoming from birth. We become through birth. And then we have experiences that also include we're dissolving. Something is dissolving, always changing. Changing is inevitable. And if we push away that changing and that dissolving, then we're suffering, and then perpetuating suffering in the world, the very thing we claim we want to end. This is primarily why churches won't let me lead their peace song. You know the lyrics? Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. While we're secretly believing, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with her. And as long as she apologizes, I'll consider it. And as soon as he stops doing that, I'll be at peace. So make the anthem the action. What I cannot change. And busy, changing what I can. And wise to know the difference. So that was 2. So don't wait. Welcome it all. And I cannot welcome it. I cannot lie. I do not welcome it. I've been facilitating the work of Byron Katie for over 20 years. It's called Loving What Is. I do not love what is. I do not love it. I don't even like it most of the time. However, I less and less oppose it. And herein lies a peace and a power that is inexpressible. To stop pushing it away. The resistance. To allow, include, instead of the no. Won't have it, ain't gonna have it, don't want it, shouldn't be. And never waking up to there is a director of the universe and it ain't me. Now that's for you Southerners, if there's any of you. The rest of you, it isn't me. It isn't me, the director of the universe. Darn, I won't even be consulted. And then invitation 3 is to bring your whole self to the kids. Bring your whole self to whatever you do. Watch a child play for a clue about this. Or remember what it was like when you had a passion where time collapsed and hours would pass and you couldn't believe how much time had passed because you were so present to what you're doing. So to bring yourself present, your whole self present to life. It could be through a nature walk to what's green, to what's growing, to flowers, to the sky, to clouds, to a binge watching something. Bring your whole self to it. Drop the guilt, drop the shame about it. Like be there. And how many times have we heard that? Be here now. Be there now. Be here now. And the presence and the power of now. So what's an example of something you do that you already bring a bigger part of yourself to, that you already bring your fuller self to? And then referencing that, how can you do that in a conversation today or this week? That you're there seeking to understand, not seeking to be understood. For example, I'm going to be a great listener today. I'm going to allow for their opinions, for our differences as a spiritual practice, as being the one in the world. Let peace begin with me. So how to bring a fuller self, a more coherent mind, the clarity of mind to a situation, to an interaction, to an exchange, to a conversation, or to a good meal, or a walk, whatever it is. See if you can practice it a little bit. See what you could notice in doing so. And the 4th invitation And I honestly believe I've been out in the field doing ministry work for 25 years, and I've done it all my life to some degree. Some of you have heard me say at 3 years old, I knew that I'm a minister. I'm here to minister. I also believe that minister is a verb, not a noun. So I knew that I'm here to purposefully to keep an element of joy in what I do, and to be very clear that it's here to benefit me. What I'm doing benefits me, and it also benefits others. That it's clear that what I'm doing is beneficial to the whole. So if you think in quantum theory, quantum consciousness, quantum mechanics, that anything that I do that benefits me benefits the whole. So clear about that, very, very aware of how I can see that. And then the third thing is to grow myself. So keeping an element of joy in what I do, growing myself, and clear that what I'm doing is beneficial to others. Now, I also have tendencies for workaholism and overdoing and overfunctioning. So I work to regulate that and to keep what's honest priorities more honest. And it is, even people say, oh, what I hear you say, Martha, you're going to work at not working. I'm going to work at not working. So I absolutely believe that I have the passion, the drive, the stamina, and the uncommon motivation that I do to keep this up and to carry this out, because I have found a way to rest while I work. So I'm at rest in the middle of things. I'm at rest, more at rest. I'm not always at rest, and nobody alive is. So everybody with a pulse has some anxiety. Everybody with a pulse has some stress. So this is not freedom from anxiety, freedom from stress, but less stress, so that I can be in the messy middle of life, the messy middle of human interaction, the messy middle of human learning processes and the spectrum of the human, and find a place to rest, a place of rest, even in that messy middle, even in the disagreements, even in the bickering, the nitpicking, even in disease processes, a place of rest, like Tom sang about, like from the prayer, the meditation, a still point that's not touched by that. A still point that doesn't expire, where my tank stays full, and I'm less likely to leak off energy. So think about then, how would that look for you? And even get a feeling about it if you can. So imagine that even in your workday, your professions, what's something that's a situation that could be stressing you, how that would transform it, the experience of it, if you found a place to rest in that. If you chose to be more resting about that, more restful, what would that be like? And the second you notice your energy draining off, that you're getting stressed or tired or exhausted, stop it sooner and sooner and restore myself, return to rest, return to the still point, stand up, stretch, take a little walk, get some water, something that's going to keep me from spiraling down into that old familiar pit of exhaustion, of leaking. So how to keep my vitality higher and not let it go so low. So think about your phone charger, your battery on your phone. How often do any of you let it go in the red? And what happens when you see your phone go in the red? It's like, OMG. Because see, the mind doesn't know the difference of the phone not working and will die. So the minute that gets red, what do? Head for a charger. So think about caring that much about your own high mind, your own spiritual self, that you are absolutely committed that it won't go to red. That as I start to drain off or lose my charge, I'm going to stop quicker and restore myself, ever how that would look for you. And it would look different for every single one of us. And then the last invitation is to cultivate a don't know mind. Can you even see like some resistance coming in there? Like, well, I do know. Well, I do know. Well, I do know. Like, what if you practice saying the words? You might even try it now. I don't know. I don't know. How will it be next year? I don't know. What will it be like? Who's going to be there for me? I don't know. So see if you can take that on as a spiritual practice. Even just say it now if you can. And just say it out loud. You're all on mute, so just say it out loud. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because it'll frighten you initially, but again, as the music invited us, there's a freedom in it, a liberation in it, to say, God knows. God knows. I don't. And the surrender of it, the liberation of it, the freedom of it. So what would stop you? What mind, what mental activity or false belief or illusion or falsehood or fear mind, egoic something would stop you from practicing, I don't know, and throwing in the towel on needing to know? So I know what I know. I don't know what I don't know. And I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it, which is what reality is. It's what reality does. We're informed as we go. And the mind works in predict and control. Must predict and control. And then believes that it's possible. And then one day, it doesn't turn out that way. Oh, sometimes it'll go the way I thought, and sometimes it won't. And sometimes I'll get what I want, and sometimes I won't. And I can either keep acting like a 3-year-old about it when I don't get what I want, or it doesn't go my way, or it doesn't turn out the way I thought it should turn out. Or I can grow myself up and say, oh, reality says it didn't turn out like I had in mind. It was perfect instead. And then we can live in a true sense of hope. Not false hope, not fantasy-based, mythical-based, fairy tale-based hope that I'm going to get what I want and that my dreams are going to come true. It's like some of my dreams will come true, for sure. They already have. Some of my dreams didn't come true, for sure. And the spiritual maturity lies in the acceptance of that being and becoming, and the not getting and the dissolving, and the invitations to include that, to accept that. So, less waiting or don't wait. Welcome it all. Include it all. If you can't welcome it, at least include it. Allow for it. Admit that it's there. Bring my whole self to the experience. Presence that brings higher presence, brings higher thinking. Higher presence brings higher functioning. To find a place of rest in the messy middle, in the work, in the doing, and cultivate that place to rest. Commit to it. and then cultivate, expand the don't know mind. I don't know mind. So I'd love to hear from you, what you're learning, what you're discovering. And if there's a way that I can ever serve you, it is my calling and my heart's desire for that, to serve those who serve. So I know it's you. And also, I'm absolutely intentional and visionary and believing and hoping and knowing that we can get these empowered teachings to the whole of humanity. So then I'm inviting you to be a co-inspirator with me, to lift these teachings up and to put them out. So share them, offer them, invite people in, get them to the website. Anything you love, put it out there. Just like if you had something yummy to eat, you want everybody to taste it. It's like, find ways to expand that so that we co-inspire together to create a world that works for all. And we begin again here today. And I love and bless you all and send you my wholehearted love. Till we meet again, let me know if I can serve you.
Martha, we are so blessed to have had you twice in such a short period of time. You know, Martha is normally booked out 2 years in advance sometimes. And so because of Zoom, we actually have been able to have her as a guest speaker now with us. And I know we'll be having you back again. You're just so engaging, and you're so grounded. Grounded hope is what I loved you saying today. And making your anthem an action, which I think we all know how to do. I think we can go out and serve. And the 5 invitations, oh my goodness. Insights without application is imagination. Oh my goodness, so many gems. Activating the knowing with discerned doing. Beautiful. Pain minus resistance equals less suffering. Yes, 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 yes. Be present to life. Martha, I could go on and on and on. And thank you again for just being with us today here at the Unity Spiritual Center. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.